My crush kept complimenting my natural beauty, so I showed up to school without makeup to see if he'd still like me. I'd been doing a full glam routine every single morning for 6 months straight. We're talking full coverage foundation, concealer, contouring, highlight, false lashes, the works. My alarm went off at 5 a.m. just so I could transform myself before school started at 8. Everyone at Westfield High thought I was naturally gorgeous, including Josh Mitchell, the guy I'd been crushing on since sophomore year. He was captain of the soccer team, honor roll student, and had this perfect smile. Josh would always say things like, "You're so lucky you don't need makeup like other girls," and "I love how fresh and natural you always look." Meanwhile, I was spending 2 hours every morning with YouTube tutorials and had a makeup collection worth more than my car. The anxiety was absolutely eating me alive. What if he saw the real me, the girl with acne scars, dark circles, an uneven skin tone, and completely lost interest? What if everything he liked about me was just an illusion I'd created with cosmetics? I'd lie awake at night wondering if our entire relationship was built on a lie. Were his feelings real, or was he just attracted to my makeup skills? Last Friday morning, I stared at myself in the bathroom mirror for 20 minutes, mascara wand in hand, trying to work up the courage. Finally, I put it down. I washed my face clean, threw on some lip balm, tied my hair in a messy bun, and walked into first period looking completely different. The moment Josh saw me, his smile literally faded from his face. His eyes widened like he was seeing me for the first time. He asked if I was feeling okay, if I was sick, if something was wrong at home. Then he spent the rest of AP Chemistry avoiding eye contact completely. During our usual walk between classes, he seemed distant and distracted. He kept checking his phone and making awkward small talk about homework instead of our normal easy conversation. At lunch, I sat at our usual table in the corner of the cafeteria, my stomach in knots. Josh showed up 5 minutes late, took one look at me, and suddenly remembered he had to study for a test. He grabbed his sandwich and disappeared to the library after barely saying hello. I felt absolutely horrible. My worst fears were confirmed. He only liked the made-up version of me. I sat there picking at my food, trying not to cry in front of half the school. But then something completely unexpected happened. Noah Nguyen, this quiet guy from my advanced art class, walked over and asked if he could sit down. I'd barely ever talked to Noah before. He always sat in the back row, wore vintage band t-shirts, and spent most of class sketching in the margins of his notebooks. "You look really pretty today," he said, setting down his lunch tray. Different from usual, but really pretty. More real, I guess. We ended up talking for the entire lunch period. Not about typical high school drama or social media or who was dating who. We talked about art, music, books we'd read, places we wanted to travel, stuff I never got to discuss because I was always so worried about maintaining my perfect image. Noah told me he'd been wanting to talk to me for months, but always thought I was too intimidating and perfect. He said I seemed untouchable, like I lived in a different world from everyone else. But today you seem more approachable, like a real person instead of a magazine cover. Over the next few weeks, I started wearing less and less makeup. Some days full glam, some days just mascara and lip gloss, some days completely barefaced. Noah would always find me at lunch, and we'd talk about everything and nothing. Josh barely acknowledged my existence anymore. If we passed in the hallways, he'd give me a polite nod and keep walking. It stung, but honestly, it also felt liberating. I realized I'd been performing for him, not being myself. 3 weeks after my makeup-free revelation, I was in art class working on a self-portrait, ironically, painting myself without any makeup on. My hands were covered in paint, my hair was falling out of its ponytail, and I probably had charcoal smudged on my cheek. Noah walked over to look at my canvas and said, "This is beautiful. You captured something really honest here." Then he asked if I wanted to go to prom with him. Standing there in my paint-stained clothes, barefaced and messy, I said yes immediately. Best decision I ever made. Turns out the right person will like you for who you really are, not who you pretend to be.